Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, kids. Good morning, grade 4. How are you this morning? Okay, I hope all of you still in a high spirit for our today online math lesson. Okay, before we continue our lesson for today, Teacher Via would like to remind you that our topic today is a little bit difficult. So, Teacher Via chose to send you 2 videos about this topic. First is about introducing of the square roots, which is about the meaning of the square root, some of example, easy example and basic example. And the second is about how to find the square roots with division, long division. Okay? So you have to pay full attention for today's lesson, and you have to watch Teacher Via video until it finishes. And the second thing I would like to remind you that to mastering the square roots topic, you have to memorizing the multiplication from 1 until 10. Okay, did Teacher Via already assign you to do that? Of course. So it means that you have, even though you're right now in stay at home, social distancing, you can't forget to keep memorizing the multiplication from 1 until 10. Okay, kids? Okay, now let's begin our lesson. Okay, kids, talking about the square roots, we must know that what is the square root? What is the definition of the square root? Actually, you already see over here that Teacher Via already read it to you, some definition and basic example about square root. But before we continue about that, I would like you to back to our previous week topic. It's about squares, right? Or the power that already have been talking before, which is, okay, let me give you the example again. Let me choose one number. Okay, from 1 until 10, I will choose the number 7. Okay, would like number 7? I hope all of you like number 7. Okay, let's see, listen properly. When the 7 multiplied by itself 2 times, it will be what, dear? What is the answer? Okay, 49, right? So, you also can write it like this. 7 multiplied 2 times is the same that it has the power of 2. Why is 2, Teacher Via? Why? Because there's 2 times that is actually multiplied with this number. So the answer is also will be 49. Can you get it over here? Okay. So means that this power is this, means how many times that you multiply the same number all together. Okay, let Teacher Via choose the another example. Okay, today is not a square, but just looking for example to make you get a better understanding. Okay, I will choose number 3. I'm so sorry, there's a little bit error. So, let's write it again. I choose number 3. I times number 3 by itself until 3 times. Okay. So, what is the answer, dears? Let's check this out. First, 3 times 3 is equal to 9. Very good. And 9 times 3 is equal to, is equal to 27. Okay, very good. Now we will continue. How many times that 3 is multiplied together? 1. I will change the color because it's the same. I will change with the black color. 1, oops, see there? This is still the same. Wait. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, can you see this there? Okay, so if we have to put the power, it will be 3 of the power of 3. Okay. It's unexpected, but the number is the same, right? Because teacher Fia choose 3. But if I choose 5 over here, 5 times 5 times 5, 3 times multiplied together, so means that 5 equal to the power of 3. Okay, kids? So now it's the same. Answer is 3 to the power of 3 is equal to 27. So can you get it, everyone? How many times that you multiply them together, that will be the power. Okay, now let's continue to back to the square. Okay, I will do like this first. Okay. Okay, now kids, we will continue about this one first. Okay, so the square root itself is the opposite of the power sign. So the square root is opposite to the power. What the meaning of it? What the meaning of it there? Okay, let's see. We know that 7 to the power of 2 is equal to 49, right? So, means that the square root, this is the symbol of the square root, like this. The square root of 49 is equal to 7. Okay, kids, can you see that? But there's no power anymore. There's no power anymore. Keep it in your mind. There's no power anymore, kids. Only 7. There's no power anymore. Okay, kids? There's no power anymore. So that's why if you find it, square root, it will be a single number. But when you time it together, it will be the number that has square. Okay, square roots only happen when the number that multiply is actually multiplied by itself, sayang. So when it's multiplied by the same number, it will be a square root. But what is the different number? For example, 7 times 3 is equal to 21. It's not a square root, 10, because the number is not the same. It's 7 and this one is 3. So it can be a square root. Square root is always the same number that multiply together 2 times. Only 2 times, okay dear? 2 times. So means that if teacher Fia want to take another example, it will be 10 times 10 is equal to 100. So 100 is the numbers that has square root. So you can put it like this. Square root from 100 is 10. Can you get it, everyone? Okay. If you get it, let's read the notes for today. Okay, what is square root, everyone? The square root of number is a value that, I will choose a different color, a value that when multiplied by itself, gives a number, everyone. So it has to be the same number. Okay, teacher Fia gave the example is 3 times 3 is equal to 9. So the square root of 9 is 3, everyone. Okay, we write it like this. The square root for 9 is 3 because this one is a symbol of square root. Can you get it, everyone? That's a basic of our square root for. Okay, kids, let's give it a notes. Okay. Notes. Every number can be a square, but only a perfect square if its square root is an integer. What is integer? Integer, everyone, is a whole number. Whole numbers means that a whole number is not a fraction or nor a decimal. So that's why a perfect square root will be an integer, everyone, atau whole number. So if you see that the example about this, for example, 2 can be a square. Yes, sayang, 2 can be a square. But it's not a square root. Why it's not a square root? Because the square root from 2 is, if you find it, there's no number that is actually can give the whole number of 2, everyone. Did you find the 2, a whole number 2 in the multiplication? No, right? Okay, so the square from this number, the answer will be 1.4, everyone. The answer will be 1.4. So this one is not a perfect square. But when you put the 4 like this, the square of the 4 is actually 2. Why 2? Because 4 is 2 times 2, everyone. So this one, the 4 is actually the square root, the perfect square root. And the 2 is only a square. So that's why it's a little bit different, everyone, than a square and the square root itself. Okay, kids? Okay. Then what will we do now? Okay, I will give some example from your student books, and you can finish your student book later on. Okay, kids. All of the notes that we left after this in the last video, you have to write it. Only these notes that not scratching all over, because teacher Fia already scratch all over. Only the notes that plain. You can find it in the last video. I will give you the picture from this whiteboard later on. So you only write it in your notebook. Something that I didn't scratch it. Because it's something that already scratched is not beautiful. Okay, kids, let's continue to the example. Okay, kids, now I'm already write to you the notes. Is every number can be a square, but only a perfect square if its square root is an integer. So integer means a whole number, not fraction of decimal numbers. So for example, 2 can be a square, but the square root of 2 is a decimal. 1.4 is the answer. So it's not a perfect square. But 4 is a perfect square because the square root of 4 is 2, a whole number. So what is called the perfect square is actually a whole numbers. And there's when two numbers is actually times together and we'll get a whole number. This means that an integer. Okay, kids, now we continue to the example in your book. Okay, kids, let's see the example from your student book. Activity from your student book. This is actually page 140. So teacher Fia will explain to you how to resolve this kind of question. Okay, kids, first they ask us to complete the table, and you can see the example over here. Letter A is 3 squares is equal to 9. So square roots of 9 is 3. Okay, I will choose this number. Number C, I will choose number 3. Or C, 5 square is equal to 25. So the square root of 25 is 5. So how did teacher Fia know that 5 square is 25, everyone? So of course, teacher Fia multiply 5 2 times. So 5 times 5 is actually equal to 25. Can you get it, everyone? So the rest you can follow it by yourself. Okay, let's continue to number 2. Draw lines to match the statement to the correct answer. Okay, number 8. A perfect square less than 20. Okay, a perfect square less than 20. So means that a perfect square that is actually less than 20. Okay, for that we will note it. Sum of multiplication from 1 until 10. Let's see. 1 times 1 is equal to 1. 2 times 2 is equal to 4. 3 times 3 is equal to 9. This all is square roots here, everyone. The perfect square roots from multiplication 1 until 10. 4 times 4 is equal to 16. Okay. Okay, here everyone, I'm already writing in a tidy writing from multiplication that have a square root from 1 times 1 until 10 times 10 in multiplication 1 until 10. So here, Teacher Pia would like to give you the example over here is actually all of the square roots that's available in our multiplication of perfect square roots. So, the answer for number 8, a perfect square less than 20. So, less than 20, you can see this one. Check it, check it, check it, check it. So, you have to draw line to match the answer for less than 20, right? So, you have to draw from here over here, okay? And then, also to 9. There's no 9, sorry. So there's no 4 and there's no 1. So it's only 16. Okay, now you can find the square of 10. I will not giving you the answer. You have to find by yourself the square of 7, the square root of 36, and the perfect square between 20 and 30. Okay, kids? Okay, now, let's see, what should I give you to the assignment? Okay, the assignment you can find is the second video that we prepared to you after this. Okay? So, do not forget that first I would like to ask you in this video to take the notes over here is only from this flower until this whole number. Okay, only this one. And for this one is actually only the example for your student books. So after this you can make it by yourself. Okay kids, let's meet in our second video for today. And bye!